Everybody, very good afternoon to you and welcome to another beautiful week in the month of July. Today is the first trading day of the week, 14th of July 2025, and it's another day to go through the market and know what is there for us. I hope your portfolios are doing very well. It's been a wonderful experience in the last 1 week, and the market continues to fly before our very eyes. A lot is going on in the market, and hopefully all of these activities tend towards making our portfolios go green. It's good to be back again. I hope you had a fantastic weekend in the course of the weekend. I hope you had a good rest. We go again, staying invested as we always do. Thank you very much to everyone who has been a part of this, everyone watching over YouTube, those following through TikTok, and of course, Instagram. Thank you very much, everybody. Good to have you here again. You know how we do it. To get many more orders involved, please go ahead, power tapping your screens, and eventually giving gifts and sharing the live session on all platforms. You are on YouTube, do a lot of shares. There are so many people who need the information we are sharing here to get out of the rat race. Thank you very much, everybody who has been a part of this, and it's been wonderful, I can tell you that. Keep your questions coming in. You know how we do it. Before we go on to your questions, in the next 1 hour, we'll be dealing with your comments, and then afterwards, we proceed to receiving calls at exactly 1 p.m. We stay here 2 hours on a daily basis, 12 to 2 p.m. Nigerian time, and it's important for me to also mention to everyone listening from wherever you are that the stock market is not a get-rich-quick scheme, though at times it surprises us with quick returns. And of course, who are we not to take it? Now, let's also be reminded that the views shared here by me are purely my opinion and not an investment advice. Everyone is advised to do their due diligence eventually. This is how I intend to commence today. We go on to the news. Remember, we are halfway into the year, and as we speak right now, financial reports are now expected, so we go from here. It's important for us to inform you the first half-year result that has been released is that of Geregu Power. Geregu Power reported 13 billion naira quarter 2 2024 profit, and that's up by 61% year on year, and it beats the quarter 2 forecast. Can I tell us that they released their unaudited interim financial statements for the second quarter ended June 30th, 2025, reporting a pre-tax profit of 13.2 billion. Geregu Power eventually in the process raising their performance year on year 61%. Now that's combined with its quarter 1 profit of 13 billion. The company's first half pre-tax profit stood at 26.3 billion. However, it's a 12.74% decline compared to the first half of 2024. So even if the second quarter result is better than that recorded in 2024, when you combine both first and second, you have the half-year result. And what we have now is a 12.74% decline in the result of Geregu Power. That's talking about profits, right? Okay, so we go on quickly without waste of time to the next information we have here, and that is details of Nigerian bonds yields continually rolling down as investors lock position. I told you that before. Part of what is influencing the capital markets rise is that money is now flowing. Apart from the foreign portfolio investors coming in with cash from outside Nigeria, we also have investments funds from or capital from bonds shifting to the capital market. When the attraction is not much regarding bonds, investors begin to look towards the capital market to invest, which of course is a mechanism for growing your money faster than what the bonds have. The yields rolled down across the curve due to sustained hunting for the naira assets amid supply shortages, and investors have gotten a whiff about policy rate probability. So there is a likelihood that bond rates may continue to drop. Bonds were bullish an increase recently when Q3 bond auction calendar was made public. Accordingly, the average yield for bonds declined by 72 basis points to 16.8%. Remember, we used to see bonds 2 years ago at as high as 25%. So it's no longer looking as attractive as they used to. But can I tell somebody something? If you locked in any capital in bonds 2 years ago at 25%, it remains 25% irrespective of what the prevailing rate these days is. And that's the idea of taking advantage of higher bond yields when they begin to show up. And it did a lot, like I said, 2-3 years ago. So whatever you invested in bonds those 2-3 years ago continues to subsist, because that 25%, the government is bonded to keep paying you the returns annually until the tenure of the bond expires. So if it was a 10 or 15-year bond you invested in at 25% some 2 years ago or 3, then it will keep running until the tenure elapses, while current bond yields that continues to be announced and offered reduces. So that's the wisdom of taking advantage of investing in bonds that time. I hope this clarifies. Midweek, the rally extended with heightened interest in February 2031 bond, June 2032, and May 2033, with yields dropping as low as 16%. So that says it all. I started talking about this some weeks ago, and we are seeing it happen right now. In any case, Nigerian exchange hits 78.73 trillion naira as equity investors grew their wealth by as much as 1.76 trillion. That's talking about in the past week. So are you amongst those who benefited from the 1.76 trillion addition to the market capitalization of the NGX? My question is, as long as you have stocks money invested in stocks and your stocks are gaining, then you are amongst those gainers. Those gains you see, those greens on your portfolio, and the value of your gains you see is part of the 1.76 trillion gain that the market cap of NGX experienced. Now, it's important to also know that the Nigerian exchange lists GTCO's public offer of 2.2 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo at 17 naira per share on the exchange. So those public offers that GT did, they have been listed, right? And stockbrokers are saying that investor sentiment remained largely positive as reflected in the market breadth. I need to now take your comments so we don't get all soaked in on the news alone. All right, I'm new here. Any help? TMA Digitals. We are glad to have you here. It's important for you to know that all we are doing here is to share ideas on how to grow our money in the capital market. We understand that you can't continue to earn money the rest of your life and make wealth that will sustain you in your older years. So what we try to do is find a way to communicate market development, investment opportunities, share ideas, and then we put our money to work for us. So we are a group of Nigerians in Nigeria and abroad who come together to invest the income we earn from the work we do or the business we do, so that towards our older years, we will live a happier life. And of course, we also intend that we enjoy an appreciable standard of living for ourselves as we make progress. The whole idea is to ensure that we beat inflation, because we have come to realize that savings is not enough. No matter how much money you save, inflation and of course devaluation will eat it all up. And so that's why we invest. To start investing in the capital market, all you need to do for NGX is to open a stock brokerage account with any broker you are satisfied or happy with, and then they will create an account for you. You fund it and you start investing. But you need knowledge, and that's why we have this platform for us when we go ahead to create videos on the YouTube channel. So you go onto my YouTube channel, you go and check and see for yourself where there are so many helpful videos for you to learn from to start your journey. And of course, We also have a Discord group. We used to be on WhatsApp 3 years ago, but we've left WhatsApp and we are in a much more secure group. It's a Discord group where there are over 2,500 members of Net Worth Investors Club. So that's what we are. So we exist outside the 2 hours daily live session that I offer here on a daily basis, Monday to Friday, except on public holidays and weekends. We come here to analyze the stock market and see real-time market developments. I hope that explains it to anyone else who is joining for the first time. If there's any other person who may join in the course of this live session, maybe you will just go on to the YouTube channel after the live session is over when the video will be uploaded. So in case for those of us in the US and Canada, or those in Nigeria or any part of the world who are working and may not have sufficient time to pay attention throughout, then the full video is made available on the YouTube channel just after the live session is over. I hope that's clear so that you can take your time. Either you are downloading or listening properly to take notes and then take action, because the information shared on a daily basis here can be effectively utilized even 1 month after the live session. That's why so many other of those videos on YouTube are still very relevant till date, because there are some stocks that have not moved, but that was discussed a month ago or 3 weeks ago that you still need to revisit to now come back to take advantage of. By the way, there are so many comments on YouTube. I'll go on to respond to them. Ibifuro Jumbo says, Coach, beautiful morning to you and family. Thank you very much. Dauda Abba, good afternoon. Thomas Gospel Tamono, thank you very much. Looking good as ever, Coach. Benjamin Sedi, thank you. I appreciate that. Good day, Coach. I want to thank you for all you do. My God bless you. Victoria Osuji, thank you so much. God bless you too. Please, Coach, kindly throw more light on this capital gain tax. Ibifuro Jumbo, I actually thought I would have been able to make a video on the capital gains tax, but I haven't been able to do so because I need to do an in-depth review of the current tax reform bill. Now, the act, if it has been passed. I think it has been passed, and that's why it has to take effect. But I'd like us to understand that there has always been capital gains tax in the NGX, just that it's not too pronounced. And that's because you get to have to earn up to $100 million in profit on your investment, and you must have liquidated that investment before the tax applies. That's what has been existing all along. I know a lot of retail investors can't generate that. So it's always, the focus has always been on institutional investors and investments houses that they follow up on such capital gains tax. So they tend to make it easier for retail investors who cannot generate that much in profit. That's capital gains. You understand what I mean? So that's why it's almost like it's not known, but it has always been there. So what I'm supposed to go back to check is whether any further amendments to this particular aspect of the tax reform has happened. On the other hand, you've always been paying your dividend withholding tax. And for those who may not know and have been seeing dividends in their account, you are not receiving your gross dividends. Dividends are naturally and have always been taxed 10%. And it's called withholding tax on all dividends that you have ever earned. In case you don't know, for the next dividend you will be receiving, just check very well. Dividend per share times the number of shares you have, whatever you get, remove 10% out of it. That's what drops in your account, because the 10% is actually taxed from source, so you don't get to see it. So it comes to your account as net dividend less that 10%. That's what happens. So it's important for us to know that all these things have been in existence and there's nothing to fear about. It's just a matter of going back to check, have they increased dividend withholding tax on dividends? They didn't. Otherwise, it would have been highlighted by most of the finance houses, okay? So it's important we all are aware and not panic too much about these things. All right, secondly, I am a bit confused about these two stocks. Please, which do I buy, Presco or Aradel? Well, at this point, if you think Presco is too expensive for you, you go all in for Aradel. Otherwise, you may also want to accumulate some Presco now that it hasn't gone beyond where it is, because I don't see Presco coming down anytime soon, especially knowing the fact that Okomo is giving it a hot chase. And of course, between the two, Okomo is more valuable. Presco is more valuable than Okomo and has more future prospects than Okomo. That's why, in any case, it has overtaken Okomo oil. Otherwise, Presco is the junior to Okomo, because Okomo has been the longest lasting oil palm company on the NGX. Before now, there was no Presco at all. When we started 27 years ago in the stock market, there was no Presco at all. It was between Okomo and Okitipupa Oil Palm PLC. So Okitipupa Oil Palm eventually got delisted from the NGX and is now currently on the NASD. And so Presco came in and was selling far less than Okomo, but over the years, it caught up and now has overtaken Okomo. All right? Emmanuel Shelep says, good afternoon, my super coach. Very good afternoon to you. Okay, YouTubers, go ahead and keep sharing this live stream. Very important that you reach out. This is our own way of reaching out. Just as I made up my mind to come out every day to share with us investment insights for our own use, it's important for us to, in the same vein, reach out to others by just sharing the live session. Keep liking it. Let the likes keep flying, because I am told that screen actions have always ensured more participation. You know, these social media algorithms have a way of sharing when there is a lot of screen action. So go ahead and keep liking. Let that be your own contribution to humanity and mankind as we continue to reach out with this wonderful, noble idea or vision of helping many get wealthy from whatever they have. Okay? Lofty Hill Crown says, good to see everyone today. Beautiful day, beautiful week ahead. Hello, coach. Waiting for Atlas to credit my account. Olu, okay, prices are increasing. Honestly speaking, these days, when you deposit money, you want to see it almost immediately because of how stock prices are jumping. Good morning, coach. I'm surprised to see M Benefits, which you recommended, is set up to pay dividend next month. Interesting, James. That's the beauty of the stock market that we are in. Okay? Coach, I want to join the Discord group, Chukwe Buka God Gift. All you need to do is go over on my Instagram handle, send me a DM. I will forward the link to you. The link expires from time to time, and it is deliberately set that way so that hackers don't get in. So for the cyber security and safety of members of the group, we do not let the link stay for too long. So immediately you send a request for the link. Once you receive it, make sure you utilize it. Otherwise, it expires and you will need another. Coach, I'm leaving my stocks like ICO, Uninsure, Charms, QTix, Wapic till this ending. Well, you are the CEO of your portfolio. You know how much you bought it. You need to keep your eyes in the market to know when to strike. Nobody can predict the market, so you just can't tell what may happen to any of them. And they are not looking like very strong stocks. I'm sure they are mid to short-term stocks. So you want to be careful and take your decisions if you like. Take your profits when you like. Good day, coach. Please, when is the qualification date for NIDF so I can sell and channel the money? NIDF has not announced their dividend or even their half-year result, not to talk of, or second quarter result, not to talk of qualification date. So it's up there. Everybody is selling their NIDF to take part in the other stocks that are running around. And so it's understandable that NIDF isn't moving these days while others are jumping. Financial Market Queen says, when a company is delisted from NGS, what happens to our invested capital in the said company? Very intelligent question there. Excuse me. Actually, when a company is delisted, before the delisting, conditions will be met. And shareholders will have to also give approval. So there is a shareholder meeting that must hold for such a decision to be consummated. It's part of the rule book of the exchange that you don't do such a thing without the approval of shareholders. And that's why shareholders must wake up. All of you listening to me who are investing in companies, you are actually shareholders and you have a right to decide what happens. A similar case is ongoing right now in PZ, and the shareholders are saying, listen, we are not happy with what you are offering as payoff. Normally, the company deciding to delist will eventually have a meeting and then make an offer. It's called mandatory, is it MTO, mandatory takeover offer or something like that. And then you will now agree. Normally, if they want to appease the investors, they will offer something better than what the market price of that stock is. And then a date will be agreed when the trading on that stock will be suspended on the exchange for the purpose of preparing the register of members and arrange to do the payoff. So they pay you off actually, and then the company is delisted. Delisting doesn't mean the company has closed. That's one feeling that a lot of people get when they hear about delisting. Delisting is a process of taking the company out of a particular stock exchange and probably making it a private company. At that point, they are not under obligation to share their financial reports. So that's what the listing is. Or they move from a particular exchange and get listed on another. Like I just shared with us, Okitipupa did the listing. Mobile PLC, that's the petroleum marketing company you know as Mobile Filling Station in Nigeria. Those gas stations are now known as Double One. They got delisted from the NGX and are currently listed on the NASD. Whereas a stock like Aradel got delisted from the NASD and got listed on the NGX. So delisting, and then of course we have MRS, another petroleum marketer that intends to delist from the NGX and get listed on the NASD. All right? So, but if the company is going private from being a publicly traded company, what they do is they will now pay off the retail investors. And let's assume the stock price is at 50 naira per share today and they want to get delisted. What happens is the stock will now, the management will now offer something like 60 naira per share, a 10 naira addition to what it already is to encourage the delisting process and, activate it, and then along the line, the other processes will follow. But it can't be done without shareholders' approval meeting. Okay, good day, on Prophet Coach. Please, do you foresee any BA attack with the way the bulls are performing? OJ, absolutely. It's normal for the BS to fight back, but it depends on the volume of cash coming into the market. And of course, from what I see, it may be impossible for the BS to overturn or overrun the bulls right now. That's because we are now at that stage where another earnings season is upon us, and definitely if companies do very well across board, then that wave of bull run will continue, because a couple of good performances by these companies will eventually ensure that the bull run is sustained at least towards the end of this month or even next month. All right? Okay, good afternoon, Coach. What is happening to VFD Group? I saw additional 85,000 shares added to my shares. B-Bass, you have been away for a while. Now, this is the beauty of it. The other day, someone called in and said, wow, VFD dropped from 93 naira to 14 naira and so on. What's really happening? And then today, you are now seeing the result of why the stock price was actually marked down. VFD Group gave a bonus of 5 for 1. For every one you have, they give you 5 extra shares. So your 85,000 shares is a result of that bonus issue. And that was why initially the stock price had to run that high. When people heard, wow, they're giving 5 for 1, in my 27 years in the stock market, I have never seen such a bountiful bonus issue. Well, that drove the price up to 93. So those who did not sell at 93, that held on to their stocks, eventually are the beneficiaries of these bonus shares. So you may want to take a look at your account. Myself, I saw some huge quantity of VFD sitting there, and this morning when I logged in, and of course that also pushed my portfolio higher. So congratulations to everyone who has VFD. Please check your portfolios and never get surprised anymore, because we told you from January, I said it here, that we are making money. And of course, we are, right? So that's what happened with you. Go ahead and keep celebrating your win. Hello, coach. E-Transact is losing. Should I sell? Dr. T, my question to you is, do you have to keep selling stocks because you saw it dropping and you are not at a loss? Now, the fundamental thing I will always ask is, what was your intention of buying E-Transact? Were you buying it for short term, medium term, or long term? If you were buying for short and medium and you are happy with the profit you have seen, go ahead and sell. But don't be shocked when you sell, the stock continues to hit like 20 naira over a period. It happens because growth is coming, the market is recognizing it and rewarding the stock. That's what you are seeing. So a little fluctuation here and there has nothing to do with the future growth that the stock will eventually record. Okay, so it's up to you, and that's why knowledge is important. People have sold their Zenith Bank at 43 naira under the most flimsy reasons, for the most flimsy reasons of forbearance. Forbearance, whose report was based on a timeline as far back as mid-2024. You took a mid-2024 report and jumped into the market and sold off your Zenith at 43 naira, and everybody else was selling. And that's why we need a platform like this, where someone who knows what is really going on can be able to stop you from throwing away your treasure. That Zenith Bank you sold at 43, just under 3 weeks, is now 70-something naira per share. Just imagine how you have lost money. And then the person who bought from you is laughing. The other day, we analyzed how 68 million shares was bought by the MD of Zenith Bank, and people were wagging their tongue and saying insider trade. What is insider trade? You need information to understand these things. That was not insider trade. Insider trade has to do with the management or anyone trying to take advantage of information unknown to the public. In that case, it was a situation where news report came out that they were not going to be able to meet up their forbearance obligations, single obligor limit for loans given and all that. And for that reason, the CBN is saying you will not be able to pay dividends, and most of your bank staff, the top management who are receiving all sorts of management bonuses, will not see any of that. And of course, you will not also go and invest outside the country until you sort out your forbearance issues. Well, like I said in various of my posts on all social media platforms, and that's why I advise, follow me on all social media platforms, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. You will get all this information and save yourself that loss that so many people have entered into. Why? Because suddenly the information came out that news was old. As a matter of fact, they will meet up all of those CBN instructions and regulations as at 30th of June, which is gone. So they were already as good as compliant before the time. But old news got people selling off their stocks. And that's how a stock that was giving you regular dividend twice a year has been thrown away at 43. Now, to get back those stocks, you need to buy at 71 or thereabouts. Simply put, if you had 1 million shares of Zenith Bank and you sold it at 43 naira per share, you collected 43 million from that sale. But now, if you want to rebuy the 1 million shares, you need 71 million naira to buy back what you had before. That's the kind of money you have lost. And it is the cost of misinformation or lack of guidance. Well, that's about that. I hope somebody's getting something here. I've not taken any comment from Instagram yet. Let's see who goes. QD for NIDF is on the 24th of this month, and PD is August 1. Okay, details are out right now. Thank you very much, Austin Ebube. I will cross-check to confirm. We are told right now that qualification date for NIDF is 24th, enough time, and then the payment date is 1st of August. Okay? I will make more findings and make that public. Is Fidelity a good buy at current price? Coming from Dozier. Okay, Fidelity is one of the stocks I've always advised that we go ahead and purchase, but let me see what the current price is right now so we can make a decision whether or not it's a good entry. Just give me a moment. I'll be with you trying to go onto the screens to see what's happening on the floor of the exchange. Remember, we have not done our stock review of most of those stocks we are watching and holding. Let's see what's happening. But on to Fidelity Bank right now, currently 21 Naira. If you ask me, I'll check through the bid and offer status and tell you, I think it's possible to buy Fidelity at 20 Naira plus because the highest bid is at 20 Naira 75 kobo and the lowest offer is at 21 Naira. But we have just 5.4 million bids versus 14.5 million offers. So looks very interesting, and I can tell you, if you buy Fidelity at 20 Naira 75 kobo, it's not a bad deal. It's good. It's just a matter of time before we see this stock ascending, considering the fact it pays dividend twice. Last year's interim dividend was 85 kobo per share, and then the full year dividend was around 1 Naira 25 kobo, so a total of more than 2 Naira per share paid. I see no reason why such a stock will remain at under 21 for so long. In any case, somebody has just bought some Fidelity at 21, raising the price up. So I think 2075, you can just join the queue of the topmost bidders so far. Honeywell floor 29 Naira 95 kobo. It's looking good. Let's go on to other comments. Is it okay to get RT Briscoe now? S. Botalicious. Let's see what's happening with RT Briscoe. That is one trading stock that is a good short-term trade option for the patient, okay? And then should anything, the way this thing works is, if you buy a stock for the purpose of just trading short-term, and then you realize something much more fundamentally good about the stock is announced in public, well, you go ahead and convert from holding for short-term to holding for long-term in order to take full benefits therein regarding whatever it is it is about. For instance, I bought into RT Briscoe most recently, and I'm staying long no matter what. So what happens is, I'm going to stay long because I feel there is an opportunity I've not heard anywhere, and this is sometimes how I do my things. So I keep buying. Every time I see it lower than how much I bought, I'll just accumulate and keep, and then watch and see to hear the news. First of all, I'm expecting a better second quarter result. Secondly, I'm looking at the CNG program of the federal government, and a lot is going on right now behind the scenes, and eventually we will see what becomes of that project regarding companies that are aligned to benefit from it. So a lot of times you don't want to use my own strategy because I see far ahead and I can wait long enough. So if you have a short-term view towards your investment, you want to maybe step aside from some of these stocks that I mentioned, all right? So this is not an investment advice. Like I say, always do your due diligence. All right. Keep your comments coming in. Coach, is it good to buy Charms? Smiles is asking. It all depends on what price Charms is, right? Currently, 3 Naira 49 kobo. There are 11 million bids versus 7 million offers. So the bids are still more than the offers. And in fact, that 349 is actually from the offer column because the lowest offer is 349, and somebody has just bought or sold at 343 also. So congratulations to any holder of charms who bought at 2 naira. You are comfortably above 60% in profit already. Coach, I've got 11 million. Can I add up to my Zenith or face another stock? Well, it's important to know what you want to do. Depending on how much Zenith you have, in case you are not too satisfied with what you have, you want to decide on maybe another stock. But if your Zenith is not enough, you can add more, even if it means averaging up, because very soon, in a couple of 2 months from now, we'll be talking about interim dividend again, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I just noticed something while speaking about that Bua Cement is suddenly receiving attention again. 99 naira 40 kobo, up from the 94 naira it closed. Bid and offer status looking pretty interesting. 1.5 million bids versus 605,000 offers. Is the bull coming close to Bua? We will watch and see how it goes, because you know its friend in the cement manufacturing company talking about WAPCO crossed 100 on Friday, closing 106 naira per share, currently 105. 1.9 million bids versus 1.5 million offers. Talking about WAPCO. And as for WAPCO, what I understand is that a Swiss company, which is the majority shareholder, they own nearly 84% of WAPCO. They are about to divest from it. A Chinese company is coming to buy, and the offer for the 84% stake in WAPCO is $1 billion. Now, if you check the maths, you will see that it invariably places a per share price of about 100 naira plus on WAPCO. That was the main reason why I kept telling people who had WAPCO, don't sell. Even when it rose to 80, 85, I said, don't sell. And now it's at 105. Now, understand also that that offer price is only for the deal with the majority shareholder. Remember, you and I are the minority shareholders or the retail investors. And so, as we continue to hold and the company continues to create more value, even if the Chinese firm decides that they want to take it private by paying off the remaining minority shareholders, they would have to pay more, because the shareholders meeting will have to be held and shareholders will eventually agree with them what to pay. In any case, the current valuation of WAPCO has it that they may just end up generating as much as 7 to 8 naira per share full year earnings per share. And if that happens, then the valuation using what you call the price earnings ratio of say the multiples of 7, I think, then that should be pricing, or 9, that should be pricing WAPCO at about 130 naira or so. So these are some of the intricacies you may not see on the screen, but may influence the prices of these stocks. Okay, Coach. Is it good to buy NPF? Philip, I can't really say if it's good to buy NPF. That's talking about Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank. That stock always experiences a little bit of pushback every time it tries to rise. Even though the numbers are excellent, the dividend is good. But I think recently they gained some level of attraction, and a few things have happened regarding its upwards movement. Let's see what's happening with that. Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank is what I'm referring to. Currently, 2 naira 61 kobo, same price it closed on Friday. The bids are more, 5.9 million versus 1.7 million offers. The point is, who can be able to improve their dividends amongst the banks after meeting up the recapitalization exercise? In any case, Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank is not in the same tier with the likes of GTCO and all the tier 1 banks. It is even a microfinance bank. And that means amongst microfinance bank, NPF is really doing well with their dividend payout and all that. We look forward to days when banks like MoneyPoint, microfinance banks like MoneyPoint Microfinance Bank will get listed on the exchange, because they have covered the Nigerian banking space, especially the retail banking sector, where the unbanked used to be. You know, everywhere you go now, you see MoneyPoint point of sale machines all over the place, and everybody now has things like that. There's no limitation whatsoever. That's how they broke into that banking space, and the banking landscape of Nigeria has never remained the same since then. Okay, hello coach, what's happening to Total? Total has been in a stagnant state for so long, and we just can't tell exactly what's happening, but it also stubbornly refuses to drop below 600. Because when things like this happens, you want to see a little bit of decline to encourage you to participate in investing in that stock. Such a situation was the case with BUA, when BUA Cement and even BUA Foods remained stagnant. Suddenly, there was always offers, no buyers, and so on. But that's not exactly the case with Total. And so we just keep watching to see if any news comes out. I think their activities are not well covered in the media, or their corporate communication department is not doing enough to get the news about them out there. Ladies and gentlemen, Access Bank continues to fly. I recognized and made a post on Twitter, and then went on my Instagram page to also post that there was so much volume of Access traded, and it went under the radar. Nobody was noticing it. 4 billion naira was spent on over 1 point something billion shares of Access Bank on Friday alone. That tells you a lot about what is going on with that stock. And I'm sure we will get to know. But why am I mentioning Access right now? Because my attention was drawn to a recent transaction that was done that saw Access Bank now flying to 26 naira per share. Did I tell us the other day when GT Bank was flying that Access, First Holdco, Fidelity, and all those banks, including FCMB, will rise? So FCMB left 9 and got to 10. Well, today is looking like Access is continuing from where it stopped yesterday. Okay, it has come back down to 25.95. But guess what? 90 million shares of Access Bank have been traded, valued at 2.3 billion naira today again. And they are not done yet. We are just about 3 hours into trading, and this is still going on with Access Bank. What does that tell you about First Holdco? Well, a race is being prepared because Access is now nearer First Bank than ever. It used to trade around 22.20 naira per share, while First Bank remained at 27.28. But First Bank has just moved only a naira upwards, while Access has left 22 to 25, almost going to 26. If I check the bid and offer status, you will understand why. Now look at that. 36 million bids for Access Bank versus 14 million offers. And that's the difference between Access and First for now, which makes First a future moneymaker, because as we speak, there are about 22 million offers of First Bank in the market for just 6 million bids. So interesting times ahead. Just like we have GTCO and Stanbic slugging it out for who will first hit 100 naira per share, and that race continues up till this moment. Stanbic currently is now 91 naira, up from 84 naira it was trading on Friday. 3 million bids versus 130,000 offers. So Stanbic suddenly hits over 90 naira for the first time, giving GTCO a hot chase. And if we check now what is the situation with GTCO, you will find out that GT is also not relenting. Currently 97 naira 60 kobo. just 2 naira 40 kobo left before GT will hit 100 naira. Will GT hit 100 naira today? We will find out. On Friday, it closed at 94 naira 10 kobo. Today it's 97.55 and continues to attract interest. 11.5 million shares traded at 1.1 billion naira. In any case, 9.6 million bids versus 4 million offers. So, who will win the race? Before GT got listed in the London Stock Exchange, all my thoughts was that Stanbic will be the first to hit 100 naira and create that record of the first Nigerian bank to hit 100 naira per share. But guess what? The moment GT got listed on the London Stock Exchange, and with all the promises of 15% dividend yield mentioned by the Group MD, Jimmy Agbaje, during that listing, suddenly more money is pouring into GT Bank, and I know they have capacity to match that promise. They definitely do, and that's what has seen GT overtake Stanbic. Will Stanbic still fight back and make sure it hits 100 naira first, or GT will do it? Let me hear your comments and your opinions regarding this race to the 100 naira mark. Share with us your thoughts on GT and Stanbic. Who touches 100 naira first? The ball is in your court. Go in the comment section and make your comments known. Please recommend the bank stocks to buy now. Helen Bliss, I will tell you for free, Fidelity, First Bank, and Access Bank. But Access Bank has decided to wake up and is now running away, but it's still within range, because the likes of UBA, which is supposed to be Access Bank's peer, has taken off beyond reach. As we speak right now, UBA is currently at 43 naira per share. So Access is wondering, what am I doing here? Ladies and gentlemen, remember Jaiz Bank. I kept singing it to you, 3 naira 15 kobo, 3 naira 18 kobo, too cheap for Jaiz Bank after that report. Well, see how long it took the market to react. So if you are a part of this community, a lot of times you will get information about these stocks and respond early enough. So anybody who went ahead to buy Jaiz Bank on Thursday and on Friday, congratulations, because suddenly Jaiz Bank, based on their full year result that was recently released, is now flying. What do you mean? Jaiz, having closed at 3 naira 57 kobo on Friday, is at 3 naira 80 kobo as we speak, and there are 28.7 million bids for Jaiz Bank versus 12 million offers. Okay, so I go on to some of the YouTube comments that I haven't responded to. Let's go. Access Corp and FCMB, is it good still to buy? Well, FCMB has some upsides, but they have a lot to do for the investing public to trust them with more money and therefore more price increase. Coach, can I sell my FTN Cocoa? I'm at 250% profit at the moment. Dauda Abba, congratulations. That's enough profit to actually sell, and you lose nothing even if you sell when the price, after you sell, the price keeps going. Listen, the fundamentals of FTN Cocoa does not back the current price right now. So it's up to you to decide right now. 250% profit is better bagged before it disappears. In any case, there could also be background information supporting that price. But as far as the paperwork is concerned, we really do not know what else is driving the price, apart from the fact that, oh, cocoa price has gone high in the international markets and all that. The reports are not aligning unless we see a blowout report in the second quarter results that we are expecting, or you just want to stay there and stay long. In any case, 250, fantastic profit. And that's me. For you. I sold FTN Cocoa at profit as their fundamental is not sound. That's coming from Dozier. So you see, some people have taken decisions and moved on. Well, when you move on like that, no regrets, especially when you have somewhere else to put the money. If I were you, I would quietly take this profit and proceed to a stock like First Bank that has really not woken up. And that's how to do it in this market, and not to jump after those that are already running. Okay? the way to deal with this is look for the next best thing that the market has not really focused on. Take position quietly there. You are sure that your capital is preserved. You see how we play this now? So, because like I said to someone I was speaking to this morning, there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of awareness right now, and there's a lot of buzz about the Nigerian market blowing and flying, bull run and all that. And when that spreads and continues to spread, you will find a lot of novices coming into the market with a whole lot of money. Now, they are going to be investing from an ignorant point of view about what to expect and what the market may do. And so they invest in companies just because stock price is rising. Now, I've taken my time to continually educate you that's not how to invest. Now, when they keep doing that, then the results get published very soon. 2-3 weeks from now, most of the results will be out. And then the markets begin to punish those stocks. You will find that some stocks, because of their poor fundamentals, will stay on a constant full offer. At that point, your money is stuck. The stock price is dropping on a daily basis. You are not able to sell. You are locked in there and watching the value of your investment decline. That's not what you want. And that's why your steps have been ordered to a place like this where you invest with knowledge and you are guided properly. Okay? So it's time to rebalance your portfolios. Any stock that does not have a sound fundamental, keep watching it. I said it the other day, watch it with your bombastic side eye until you see that maybe offers are building up. That's when to escape. And then you take your profit and go. Even if the stock price continues to rise, no problem. But you have saved yourself a huge profit that you can now reuse somewhere else with peace of mind, and possibly invest somewhere else that you are sure that even if the market drops, dividends will keep being paid because they have a strong dividend culture. That's how to operate in this market. Stanley Dozie says, can I sell my Cadbury? I have already 270K gain. Stanley, as far as Cadbury is concerned, I believe it has not reached its maximum price target yet. I can tell you that's why we have some stocks. They are actually long-term growth stocks. I've said it severally. If you are paying attention very well, you can go back to most of these live videos, and they are there just so everybody sees. We are not making this up. We will say something after 1 month, after 2 months, you will see it happen. And that's why on a daily basis, these videos uploaded on YouTube are very useful to you even after 1 month, because most of the things anticipated are actually long-term foresight or hindsight discussions that I have. And so you will see it happening. Just like I posted recently on some of my social media handles, a discussion was had. That was during April. During the live session, someone called Ahmed from Kaduna, I think, he called in and was asking for bank recommendations like GTCO, right? That means he already had GTCO. So I gave him 4 bank recommendations. I just went back and was replaying that video, and I saw that I mentioned that he should go for UBA, as at that time UBA was 35 naira. He should go for Zenith, as at that time Zenith 45 naira. And then I mentioned Fidelity, and I said something. I said, wait for something to happen for Fidelity to drop to 17, then you buy. Guess what? That was in April. In May, on exactly the 21st of May, if I'm not mistaken, that was when that issue about Fidelity Bank dropping to 17 naira came. That was when the court judgment against Fidelity Bank, 250 billion court judgment against Fidelity Bank and one construction firm. And then the market panicked, and the stock dipped to 17 naira, 30 kobo. Somebody here bought at 17.30. I was here still saying, buy this stock. It's too cheap. Before you know it, boom, it's 20. And it still hasn't gotten to where it should be. Fidelity should be around 22, 25. But you know what? It's waiting for Access to move away from that 22 range, and Access is now obliging and moving. Currently, it's now at 25. So when Access and First Bank removes from that 20-something region and begins to touch 30, Fidelity will go speedily to around 25, because I can tell you, even based on dividend payout, Fidelity did better than First Bank, for instance. Okay, so that's what happens. Most of the things I mentioned here eventually come to pass after a month, 2 months, 3 months. You see how important those resources called YouTube videos of our daily live sessions uploaded there and waiting and just looking at all of us. I was speaking about Guinness for several times at 70 and 77. Eventually, now Guinness has risen up and Guinness is above 100. So, over to you. Let's go ahead with your comments. Good afternoon, Coach. Thank you for all the good work you are doing. NIDF has announced a corporate action for half year. It will pay 5 Naira 20 Kobo and the qualification date is 24th July. Yes, Briskila Sapke. That's very correct. It has been already shared here. Good afternoon, Atlas Portfolios Customers Agent. I applied to open a stock trading account on the 1st of July, but till today, 14th July, the account is not still open. Please help. Lucky Ezu, who is Atlas Portfolio Customer Agent? I am not. All you need to do is, can you chat them up on their WhatsApp line to make it quicker? Oh, I'm still getting the reports that my volume is too low oh, really? On YouTube. So sorry about that. YouTube, please confirm if the volume is better now. Kindly confirm if the volume is better. All right. Could you confirm if the volume is better now on YouTube? Please go ahead and confirm for me. Coach, with Geregu Q2 result, is it okay to buy now? Geregu is on full offer. Please calm down. Do not buy Geregu now. Okay, thank you very much. YouTubers, I really appreciate you for giving me that feedback. I wish I knew on time. We are almost in the 1 hour mark. I just wish I knew on time. I hope this doesn't discourage a lot of listeners who may be tuning in only to be struggling with the volume. So sorry about that, but thank you very much for staying vigilant and thank you for the update. And now that it's better, we go ahead. All right. In regards to the bank shares, they are bullish now. What's your take? Profits point? Where do you think will be a good time to take profits? Now, Wesley Forex, this is where I do not get involved. You know, I give you all the tools to do what you need to do. It's actually a do-it-yourself club to the extent that you buy a stock for whatever reason, long, medium, or short-term, dividend, growth, or value. But when it comes to when to sell, that's not me. Why? I will explain clearly. Everybody did not buy at the same price. Everybody is not buying based on the same strategy. Everybody has their own peculiar strategy, and that's why what we employ here is a do-it-yourself approach. So you know how much you got into a stock. You know how many percent you have made already, and you know what looks like a decent capital gain in percentage terms. So you just go ahead and deal. Not everybody who buys some of these banks are buying it to sell. Like someone asked me just a few days ago on live session during the comments whether they should sell their GT Bank. And I said, no, GT Bank is not a stock to sell. Then GT Bank was at 60 Naira per share. Now, imagine if they sold, and we are talking about GT now hitting 97 Naira per share. What would have become of that person? Because there are stocks you don't sell because of the value creation they keep giving you for the rest of your life. So if somebody has bought GT Bank, for instance, UBA, Zenith, or any of these banks for the purpose of regular dividend income because they pay twice a year, what is the person selling it for? Because you will end up selling, and just after you sell, the price jumps then it becomes more difficult for you to sell because it's not all about capital gains. You won't keep seeing capital gains on a regular basis. In fact, what is happening today in the Nigerian market is very unusual, and we need to understand that this is not how it will be forever. And that's why I keep ringing the alarm bells and caution signs and telling us, let's keep our feet on the ground and be realistic. This is not how the market will continue to be. So there is a way to manage your resources while you are having them all showing green right now. There is also a way to navigate the market when stock prices drop. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 1 p.m., that time when we can start taking your calls on Instagram. But on TikTok. But because it's only TikTok that is able to call in for us to really engage, I will advise your comments to keep coming in, because in between the calls, I will still be taking comments as we are all participants. Ladies and gentlemen, what do I have here? Jaiz Bank, 3 naira 88 kobo per share. You have no idea the value, how valuable a kobo is until you start trading penny stocks. All right, coach, talk about QTix. The offer is higher than the bids. Donald Ngam, that's normal. Those who bought QTix at 2 naira will want to take profit just in case they are not amongst those who are investing for the long term. Okay? Look at AICO that was sitting and struggling at 1 naira 60 kobo for so long. Suddenly, we are seeing AICO at 2 naira 40 kobo. And this has happened within a week. That's a lot if you check what it is in terms of the returns you get. Okay? Coach, can't send you DM on Instagram. What's the problem? That's very abnormal. And I need your Instagram, please. Your DM, please send it. It looks like you have a very important digital IBM. Find a way to send your DM, okay? All right. So the phone lines are now open for callers. I already have 3 callers. Let's see how it goes from here. Israel Isede, Kingsley Ahuchaugu, smile for me. You are the 3 first callers I shall be taking on. Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're streaming from, and kindly speak louder.
My name is Israel. I'm
Israel from Italy. Thank you very much for joining. Go ahead with your questions.
Yes. See, it's concerning my sister. So there's some stock she bought 2007. I get me. She bought the Ocean Bank shares and Dangote flour. Sorry, Dangote flour, yes. So now the Ocean Bank have changed to Eco Bank. How can she collect her share back from there? And the second one is the Dangote flour mill that become a Crown flour mill. How can she also collect her share and dividend that have accumulated for the previous years? So I want to know, who will she contact, where will she go?
All right, let's make it simple. Israel, do you follow me on Instagram?
No. Yes, I do. I do Instagram, yes. I haven't sent you a message from Instagram. I have not replied.
Send me a message, resend. Every time you send a message, I've not seen it, resend, because the auto response app continues to make it look like I've read a message that I haven't, because it automatically replies. So send me another message and let me give you details of what to do. First, I will explain. I'll send you the link for unclaimed dividends for her to check. And if her name is there, she will fill the form with her bank details and just expect her dividends to be paid to her direct into her account. That's for any unclaimed dividend amongst the 2 companies. And then for former Oceanic Bank that was acquired by ETI, which is Eco Bank Transnational Incorporated, she can easily contact the registrars to take her shares, but she can't do it on her own. So what she would do is open a new stock brokerage account, then instruct the stockbroker to move her shares into her new account where she can see it from anywhere she is. And then for Dangote flour, I was amongst those who benefited from Dangote flour a lot. It was so cheap when I bought under 1 naira or something like that many years back. And then Dangote flour decided to get delisted, and the stock price rose to around 4 naira, and they paid us off. So Dangote flour has been delisted. We will also have her to contact the registrars because she's supposed to have been paid off for that. So there's a payout for any stock that gets delisted, just like we started this morning, and I explained all of that in the first couple of minutes in today's live session. Thank you very much, Israel. All right. So we go on to Kingsley. You are the next. After Kingsley is Smile for Me before Financial Markets. Our sister there, I can't see the full names. Hello, Kingsley.
Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon to you. Tell us your name and where you're streaming from.
Yeah, this is calling from UK.
Kingsley from the UK. Thank you for joining. Go ahead.
Please, my question is related to Atlas. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I bought towards the close of the stock market on Friday. I bought some Fidelity shares to add to the ones I have because of the recommendation. And at the end of it, Atlas sent the email for a successful purchase. But up till now, the shares have not reflected in my portfolio. I called Atlas more than 5 times this morning. They all dropped my call, cut it off. And I sent them a message since morning that look at what I even sent them the evidence of the email he sent to me that these shares I bought have not reflected in my Fidelity. Yeah, until now they've not gotten back to me. And I wanted to even buy more today as when they said you should buy at 20.75, but I'm scared to buy anything because the one I bought already have not seen it reflected till now. And I've tried reaching them, no response. I'm not picking my calls.
Okay, while you are talking, I was trying to connect them, and hopefully it connects. I see it's connected. So let's hear them. Hello, Ma. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, please. Thank you very much for finding time to sort us out here. We can't thank you enough, really, for all your efforts. So please, can you go ahead to attend to Kingsley Ahuchaogo?
I'm trying to. All right, can you confirm if this name on his TikTok appears to be the name with Atlas?
Yeah, my name with Atlas is Kingsley Ahuchaogo. That's the same name, yes. Kingsley Ahuchaogo.
All right, Coach, you can go on with others. Let me just quickly do it.
All right, Kingsley, just hang on. They'll go through. They'll get back to us, okay? All right. Next is Smile for Me. After Smile for Me is Financial Markets. So Kingsley, hang on there. We'll carry on with the discussion. So we try to maximize the time available to us. Hello. Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're streaming from, and let's make it very fast. More callers are lining up.
Yes, definitely. Oh, okay. My name is Smith. I'm calling from Australia.
Smith from Australia. Thank you.
Atlas. Correct, yes. I opened an account with Atlas and just recently sent me an email with the account details. However, the CHN and the CSCS number differ from my previous account details that I had with another stockbroker. Should I be worried?
Not at all. Do not be worried. You can have more CHN and CSCS numbers as soon as possible. I think that might have sped up your account opening processes. Perhaps they didn't know that you had an existing CHN and CSCS number. In any case, you shouldn't be worried. I don't know if Atlas has a word to add to what I have said.
Yes, there's no need to worry, except if that's when we can pick it up with CSCs. But if not, it's fine.
All right.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Smith. Cheers.
Right, coach. Relating to Mr. Kingsley.
Yes.
I would like to confirm the total units he purchased.
Actually, before I was trying to get 1,000 units complete on top of the one I had, but I couldn't purchase it because it was saying insufficient. So I purchased 990 instead of just on that Friday. Then I'm going to top it up more today, which is supposed to add up to make it 4,990, but it's still showing 4,000 because my plan was to make it 5,000 so by Friday. So I can show you the screenshot on my portfolio to show you that the 990 is not there, it's showing the big one.
Alright, I can see in-house, the 990 is being captured, but I think I know where the issue is coming from. This will be taken up with CSS and not with Atlas. Last 2 weeks, there have been some glitch in trades, and we were advised properly. It might not be to the public for customers, but in-house we have those notes. So I'll just pick it up with CSCS. I'm seeing something else on your CSCS statement which does not tally with what we have in-house. So it has to be corrected. So just give us maybe till Wednesday. Let's get to resolve it with CSCS. There are some trades that happened last week that had errors in it, and it's beyond Atlas. So now you're complaining we have to take it up. Please give us till Wednesday. We'll revert to CSCS regarding this.
Okay, does that mean that I should wait to maybe buy any transaction till Wednesday as
You
well?
can go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It doesn't really happen all the time. Maybe once in a while. There could be something that would have triggered it last week, but we were advised as market operator that some clients might be having issues. Some might even overtrade on that trade, so it happens. So I'll just take it up now.
Thank you very much. I hope that sorts it out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I can also attest to the fact that there were these glitches I was seeing. Some bids, you will see some offers at a very good price. You want to buy, you find out that it's not going because it's almost like a frozen price, far cheaper than what the bidders are bidding for. But when you try to match buy such offers, it doesn't go through. So I can attest to this, that it's a glitch that I also experienced, not knowing it can manifest into what has just been reported. Thank you very much, Atlas there. Financial markets, you are the next. Can you unmute your mic and speak to us? Okay, we lost her there. Perhaps she called in error. OVN success. Oh, okay. She's back. Financial markets. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Coach. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mary Jane, founder of Financial Markets Queen. So it's actually Financial Markets Queen. So I have this question, but I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay.
So I have this question as regards to the video you sent to me, partaking how to create my account with Atlas. So apparently you sent me video for Morgan Capital. So I asked a question on your Instagram direct message, and I asked if it's possible for me to open an Atlas account and also use my account ID for Morgan Capital, or I should open Morgan Capital and not Atlas Capital. So I was confused because the video put me off. So am I going to open with Atlas, or should I open with Morgan Capital?
Okay. That video I
Also, I need to ask as well. Okay, listen.
that video I did many years ago was a brief display of how to go through the Morgan Capital platform in 15 minutes. How to trade 2 of them. Now, it's about the same platform, user interface exactly the same with Atlas. So I stated it there in my comment that use these to learn how to trade or navigate the Atlas platform. In any case, I also have a video on Atlas, which is a much longer one that people really complain about, that is too long, they get confused and all that. That's why I always share the one of Morgan. So it's not an advice I was given that you should trade on Morgan, because in the end, it's your decision to make. But this here is Atlas, using about the same platform that Morgan uses, though Morgan's own is iCapital, the other is iTrade, City Trader, okay? But the point is, you learn with that Morgan video to help you navigate Atlas site or portal.
Okay.
So that was the intent.
If I'm guessing correctly, is the both of them has the same interface, but just use Morgan because it's a shorter version as opposed to Atlas video that you have. So noted. And also, I wanted to ask, is it just Nigerian stocks that can be traded, or can US stocks also be traded on Atlas?
No Nigerian broker can help you trade foreign stocks. So that's where the fintechs now comes in.
Okay, perfect. Makes sense. Then lastly, my question is, just can you enlighten me on what happens to invested capital, or what happens to an investor, or what happens to a corporation if they add more outstanding shares, or if they purchase shares? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, those are two different scenarios now, and
Yes.
Financial Market Queen has just unconsciously brought us into our education series, because every day the live session is laced with a little injection of capital market education. When companies offer extra shares through either public offer, rights issue, or bonus issues, what happens is they have effectively diluted existing shares. I'll explain with numbers. Some companies have total outstanding shares, say 1 billion shares, and then they go on to raise more capital through rights issue or public offer, or even give bonus issues, and the total number of fresh shares coming in becomes, say, 200 million shares. That means those 200 million shares are going to be added to the existing 1 billion shares, making it 1.2 billion shares. The effect on the per share metrics is that when it was just 1 billion shares existing, if the company needed to pay dividend per share of 1 naira per share, all they need to generate is just over 1 billion naira earnings. Distribute that 1 billion naira to each of the 1 billion shares. What you have is 1 naira per share. They are done paying dividends. Is that understood?
Yeah.
Now, if they continue to earn 1 billion profit after tax that they pay all out, for instance, but they have now diluted the shares through the creation of the 200 million extra shares, they now have 1.2 billion shares in existence. Next dividend payment, they will not be able to pay 1 naira per share with their 1 billion. They will now need 1.2 billion naira. And if the company has not created sufficient value to grow their profit after tax, it becomes difficult. In the eyes of the market, that's a decline in dividend payout, when everybody is expecting an improved dividend payout per share. Is that clear now? That's on one hand. Then the other question you asked about, what was it again?
That's if price can be, if the company decides to want to repurchase their
Good.
shares.
Share buyback. Now, some companies have done share buyback. Now, in the case of share buybacks, there are two ways. The company decides they want to buy back some of the shares from the market, thereby reducing the share float in the market. And once the float is reduced, it means some form of scarcity is created for that shares, unlike before they bought back. Two ways they buy back is they buy and keep as treasury shares, meaning they just hold it, it's not in circulation. So every time there is heightened demand for that particular stock, you will not find it too much in circulation, and so the stock price finds some level of stability and even continues to grow. What is holding down so many other shares is because so many other stock prices is because the float is too many. After every little gain, you see a huge amount of supply in the market, which forces the price down. But companies do not just buy back shares because they don't want sufficient float. What triggers companies to do that is because they feel the market is undervaluing the stock, and they find it an opportunity to buy more of those stocks to themselves. And so when dividend is paid, they also benefit from holding that stock. When share price increases, the value of whatever they are holding also increases. That's one way of buybacks. The second way of buybacks is they buy the stock back and then cancel it completely. That's what a company like Dangote Cement did. They did share buyback to an extent. They canceled the total number of shares they had bought back. What that implies is that automatically the OS has reduced, shares outstanding has reduced, meaning the per share metrics of that particular stock will improve drastically, because whatever profit they make is going to be distributed on fewer shares, considering the fact they bought back some from the market and canceled it, meaning those ones they bought are no longer in existence. Is that clear? So that's it. I think that does it for our education series for today's live session. Thank you so very much, Financial Markets Queen. You've asked very intelligent questions and it has helped us.
Yeah, so I'll reserve the next one for the next day or another time.
It's all right. Not a problem. Thank you very much. All the best in all you do, okay? You know, we are allies. Every attempt to make the investment acumen of Nigerians get deepened and make them more knowledgeable is a good one. So I really appreciate all you do, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, bye. Okay, a lot of comments may be going unnoticed or unattended, so I'd like to find a way to respond to some. How do I open a brokerage account, and what broker do you recommend? Obi Nani. There are so many stockbrokers. If you go on the NGX website, you can see a whole list. I have used up to 6 stockbrokers in my time in the market, and I can tell you I'm happy with what Atlas is doing, and that's why I just recommend them, nothing else. If you are happy with whatever broker you use already, why not? Feel free. But if you want to use my recommended broker, send me a DM, follow me on Instagram and send me a DM where I will send to you. All right? As a young Nigerian in his early 20s, which stocks to invest in and what's your advice in general? Rex Steck. Rex, you are about to make the best decision of your life, and you remind me of my old self, and it doesn't matter, my younger self, and it doesn't matter how much you have now. What matters is the desire to grow legitimate wealth. And if that's what you think, then you are in the right place. First things first, go for knowledge. Go on my YouTube channel. There are some helpful beginner guide videos down below the pecking order, because so many other videos are up there right now. Take your time to learn about how to invest in the Nigerian capital markets. The topics are there. Just take your time and understand how the market operates, and then do well to join our live session 12 noon to 2 p.m. on daily basis, Monday to Friday, except on public holidays and weekends. Also, join our Net Worth Investors Club. Please understand, we are not an investment club where you are expected to bring money together to invest. It's deliberate that we don't get ourselves entangled in any kind of financial mess. So that's why it's a do-it-yourself club. We teach you what to do, and you go ahead, execute. Everything you do and succeed with drops in your bank account for yourself. So do not entertain anybody who comes to you in the guise that they are me, because they create all sorts of fake accounts using my DP to swindle people. Criminals will not cease, but we will not relent. So this is how we protect members of the club. The club link comes from me alone, unless it is shared for you in the group to bring in somebody. And so you send me a DM on Instagram requesting to join the club. It's all free, right? Gather enough knowledge. Ask any questions in public right there on the group. Let nobody DM you and start trying to tell you anything outside what is discussed openly. That way, we have been able to minimize any form of fraud, and then you grow while learning and earning as well. So that's what to do. Go for knowledge and always be a part of what we do here. All right, on to the phone lines as we go ahead with more callers. OVN Success is next. After OVN, we will have Stanley, who is next, standing by. Then we'll talk to Mary Talks Money. Hello. Hello, Success.
Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please tell us where you're streaming from.
Sir, so I'm calling from Lagos. I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
So I have about 400K to invest. So I'd like to know which stock to invest. Then my friend has about 1 billion. She would also like to know which stock to invest. Then, sir, another question I have is, when your stocks have gone up, when do you know it's time to sell? I'm having issues with that because I bought ticks when you recommended ticks. I bought tea when you recommended tea. I bought GT when you recommended GT bank. And these stocks have gone up. So what do you think? Is it time to sell now, or we should still leave it?
Okay. Time to sell, like I explained earlier, is entirely your business. That's because I see a stock at a good price and say buy, but I don't know when each person bought, and so can't really tell what a percentage you have made and what your original intent for buying that stock is, because we're all in the market for various reasons. Apart from just making money, some are investing for the long term. They want a regular stream of income via dividend cash flow and capital gains growing their portfolio. Such people cannot sell certain stocks like GT Bank. But if you bought GT Bank from the word go for the purpose of capital gains, then, and you are happy with the capital you have gotten, why not? You sell. So, in that case, I will also quickly inform you, do not be upset when after you sell, the stock price keeps going, because there is a tendency to regret and say, oh, I should have waited a bit more. The truth is, no one can time the market. So as much as possible, stick to your strategy and do what pleases you in the market. But usually, we've come to realize over time, based on research done severally across the world, that investors who stay long-term in the market makes the most money compared to traders. So there are people who bought GTCO at 45 and sold at 50. Now it's 97, and they are still in the market.
I want at 30-something.
You bought at 30-something. Awesome. This is when everybody else is buying into GTCO, because suddenly they have gained some level of international exposure that wasn't as much before now. And so more money is flowing into that stock following the listing on the London Stock Exchange. If you are happy to sell at 97, having bought at 35 or something like that, that's a good profit, more than 200%. And in that case, why not? But don't ever have any form of regret because you are sticking to your own strategy, if that's your strategy. So that's the way to go about that. Then on to stocks to buy. I've mentioned that earlier. That's always a case of what is in the market, what's really obtainable as we speak. And that's why it's a daily live session, because daily transactions keeps going on in the stock market, and as many as are interested continue to buy, right? Another thing is you could actually sell the GT at 97, and maybe later in the year it sells less than what you sold, and it still looks attractive. You can also buy again, you know. So it's a two-way street, but over time everything works as far as your strategy is concerned. So stocks to buy: First Holdco, because the banking sector will continue to enjoy some level of attention. Fidelity Bank at 29. First Holdco 29.65 currently, not a bad price. 29.65. Fidelity Bank 20.90 currently, not bad. Good entry, if you ask me, because come January, February, these stocks will be selling far more than what it is now. I'm looking for, I wish you called around this time, maybe 2 trading days back. You would have bought a stock like Jai's around 310 and 315. But, well, Jai's has left the bus station. Where do we have Jai's right now? We are talking about 385. So maybe it's looking like maybe a bit late to be buying Jai's. In any case, may not be too late. Well, let's see. Another stock to buy is UACN. I'm looking at that stock as long as it's under 44. Good. UACN at 43 for the patient is also a good stock to buy. I think that's enough for the amount of cash available to you. Thank you.
Even with the 1 million for my friend to this trade.
Yes. In any case, please be informed that all of these are just my opinions and never a financial advice. So do your due diligence. All right. We go ahead. Stanley Dozie is next. Luis Sauge says, hi, coach. I was never able to cut tip at 9 naira. What should I do? Let's see what tip is doing right now. Anything under 10 naira for tip is fine. Let's see where tip is. Wow, 10.46. And there are some bids at 10.43. Goodness gracious. Well, tip has a tendency of being nice. What you would do is place a bid at 9.95. 9.95 and 10. Never mind, the sellers will still come in. Okay, all right, next caller. Looks like we lost him there. Okay, Mary Talks Money is next.
Good afternoon, coach.
Good afternoon. Tell us your name, where you're streaming from.
My name is Mary, and I'm calling from Lagos.
Mary from Lagos, thank you very much for calling in. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, coach. My question goes to Atlas. I executed a trade this morning. I bought Access Bank 5,000 units, and I saw the market was trading at 25.50, but Atlas executed the trade for me at 27.90, 27.89, and it's a trade just the stock is not even trading at that amount, so I'm confused.
Okay, Atlas is in the house. They should be able to take a look and get back to us. Hello, Atlas. Can you hear that? I hope it's not the same glitch. So, Mary, just hang on. Let's wait for Atlas to respond.
Okay, coach.
Stanley Dozy says, Coach, should I sell my champion Cadbury and Oando? Do not sell your Cadbury. That's a very good long-term growth stock. Cadbury should be touching 80 and above if you can wait till January, February. And then someone just mentioned here, Coach, CWG is now at 17. Well, just a few days ago, I told you it was a 17 Naira stock when it was at 9 Naira something. And here we are, it's at 17. Interesting, isn't it? Coach, is GTB still going to do public offer this year? Or Yemi, GT Bank is not doing no public offer? Coach, okay, that's coming from God is the greatest. Hello, Atlas, are you there? Beauty Find Shop 995. Yes. Coach, is GT Bank still going to do offer? I've responded to that. Hi, Coach. Is it okay to average up on Jais? Hello, Atlas.
Coach, I think I missed out on a complaint.
Okay, Mary, could you make it brief?
Sent us a mandate to trade on urea. Yeah, market trade, yes.
I don't think she got your question. She said she executed by herself. Market order.
Okay, you did yourself on the trading app. Yes, on the trading app. Alright, now you said you traded 20. Okay, we executed 27.89 for you. Yes. There could be a mix-up somewhere because you are trading yourself. We are not behind the platform. So you have to be sure what price you imputed when you were trading. I thought you actually sent us a mandate to do that from our own hand. But if you are doing that from your hand and you didn't fix in a market price and also your limit price limit considered, I need to be sure.
Okay, there is another thing.
Actually, when you place on market trade on Atlas, the limit and the unit price is off, right? But I actually checked the market what is trading currently at that moment, and it was 25.50. So I placed the trade on market trade, and the executed it at 27.89. So that's my own the stuff I don't understand. All right. To avoid it a long conversation, can you do a screenshot of all what you have on your platform with the price to us? Just do it via email. Let's verify what. I have emailed the Atlas customer care, but there's no response. This morning, right? Yeah. I called. They asked to email, and we haven't. You get an email because we also need market to get closed. We upload trade from our head, then we can have a proper view of your account. I might not be able to give you a proper response now because trade is still ongoing and I can't see your platform until trade closes. So once trade closes, I think I would work on it. I'll check. Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
For me now, I think that will be fine. How on the platform? The same email trail. Where the same email trail you sent? I didn't get.
Email. They've sent you an email before.
You mentioned you already sent a mail regarding this. So I'm saying do a reminder now so it could be on my to-do so that once market closes, I can attend to it immediately.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm seeing someone is asking on YouTube. Chinonso Jasper says, hello coach, QTix is currently at full offer. Is it advisable to buy more now for long term or wait for the price to get lower? And I went on to check QTix and I saw that QTix is down to 4 naira 14 kobo. That's the lowest price it can sell for. I think currently 14 million offers and 2,000 bids at the lowest price for today. So what I think, Chinonso, is hold on, do not go in, check how low it gets tomorrow again, and then because it is for long term, you take a long term position. Very simple. Thank you very much. All right, on to the next caller. Nagiri Asuku is next. JA says, is Aiko a good buy? Aiko was a good buy when it was under 2 naira, but it's not looking much of a good buy at the moment, though a lot of transaction has happened. 82 million shares traded at 190 with at the cost of 196 million. Okay, the bids are still higher, but I do not think you should buy at current price. If you are still bent on buying, you will need a lot of patience because there are so many people who bought at 160 and 170. You see that 1 naira 60 kobo and 170 band, there was a lot of accumulation for months. And those are the people who can be able to come into the market and sell down to even 2 naira from the 2 naira 42 kobo it is now. They'll still be in very good profit, right? So you want to wait and see if it drops below 233. Otherwise, place a bid at 233 and see how it goes. Isoken says, I bought hymns when it was recommended. I can see dropping. Will you recommend top up? Let's see hymns. If you see hymns dropping, please go ahead and top up. I have my reasons. The market reacted to the deal with NVO being cancelled. And I can tell you now that hymns has proceeded to the Canadian market to replace NVO. So the drop, it hasn't dropped. It's been about the same price it was when I recommended 47, right? The first time I recommended hymns was actually, it was at 21. The records are there on my Instagram before it bounced on to 60, 70. And then this news about their discontinuing their, partnership with NVO that brought it down to 47. It's still around 47 as we speak now, so it hasn't really dropped. But if it's less than what you bought and you are investing for the long term, go ahead because they've gone ahead to replace NVO. Discussions are on now. They will soon make it public. It's in the Canadian market. So a lot is going to eventually pay off from there. Your thoughts on Dangote Sugar, Nation D Trader? Well, Dangote Sugar, long-term prospect, excellent turnaround, going on perfectly, especially with the inauguration of Dangote Sugar Refinery, Ghana. So expect a jump in their revenue and maybe profitability, because last year was terrible for all of these manufacturers and fast-moving consumer goods companies. So a change is on the way, and that has been reflected in the stock price already, moving from 36 naira to about the 51 or so it is. Let's see what's happening with Dangote Sugar this morning. Oh, down to 49.60. Interesting, right? 1.6 million offers versus 956,000 bids, which makes it an interesting look, because in the end, it's now below the 50 naira mark, and we do not know how low it can settle from here. If you are really desperate about buying Dangote Sugar, maybe you buy a little more and then wait to see if it ever dips to buy more. Otherwise, you top up from there. A lot of activity going on now in First Holdco. Suddenly, the price jumps to 29.55, continues to trade at that band because there are 22.9 million bids offers versus 5 million bids. It's been trading around 29 naira 20, 29 naira 35 kobo for so long until somebody came in and has splashed a lot of funds into that stock. Currently, 500 million naira spent on First Holdco. Coach, should I add UACN now or fresh tip 100,000 shares? Beauty Finds Shop. I think between adding tip, which you already have, which is currently at 10.46, which I believe can still trade below 10, and UACN, which you may not have had before, you can go ahead and add UACN, because it just may be the one that runs away and never easy to get back. Whereas for tip, even at over 10, you can still come back to buy. So I think that's the best choice. Go for UACN, 43.10 at the moment. And I know you are investing for the long term, so that's cool. Can I sell my NIDF to buy Fidelity or GTCO now? Victor Wealth, what was your initial investment strategy? What was your plan? It's important that you stick to your plan. Everybody who was advised to buy NIDF was because of the dividend cash flow and future capital gains. Bukari, Fidelity Bank, goodbye long term? Absolutely. If you ask me, I go on to the phone lines again because there are callers waiting, and we have just about 13 minutes before today's session is over. Skipper, you are the next. Let's make it fast and see how many calls we can accommodate amongst the 7 callers on standby. Hello. Hello. Okay, that's -1. We go on to GT. Hi, coach. Is it okay to average up on Jaiz and Wema Bank? Well, it's okay to consolidate your holdings in those stocks. I agree with that. Good afternoon. Your name and where you're streaming from, and let's do it fast. God's time from the UK. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead.
The young lady that called just now in regards to her placing a trade at a certain price and it was executed at a higher price. I experience such a thing always. I just experienced it now. I traded Aradep. I initiated my trade at 529, but I got a unit cost of 533.13 kobo, which was not the price I imputed on my limit. So that is what I have here now. It's higher than what I bid for.
Was it a unit? Was it a market order or a limit order you placed?
It's a limit order. I use limit.
Okay, it could be the same glitch matter we are talking about. So Atlas, please can you also respond to him? These are things that they can only investigate at the close of trading. Atlas, please respond.
I want to clarify something.
Okay.
If you buy at a party, let me give an instance. If you're buying Fidelity at 5 naira, your unit cost would never remain 5 naira because there are all the charges incorporated in your price. Probably that's where they are getting it wrong.
I am thinking, that can only come up in their contract notes, which I do not think they have received yet.
Yeah, because the market is still ongoing.
Exactly. So they couldn't have been seeing what they are saying now from the contract note. I am thinking they are seeing it from the feedback on the yellow pane, my orders pane, where they now see the actual price per share executed. Now, let's ask GT, where are you seeing the price you have a complaint about? Hello?
Before at 529. Now on the unit cost, I am saying 533.13 kobo.
Hold on. I didn't get you. Where are you seeing these prices from as we speak?
Okay, the price that reflects on my Atlas portfolio website. It's on my portfolio.
Is it possible to buy immediately and see it reflect immediately?
Yes, when I buy after some minutes, it will reflect.
Please.
After the close of the day, then they will send a purchase note. Then I will see the actual price on which I bid the stock for.
Okay, this.
At which it was executed differ from the unit cost that it was executed on.
I have never seen a summary of my trade until market closes. I don't know where you are checking from. I would advise that you wait to see your contract note before you make the complaint. Mary has just...
On my actual portfolio trading interface, when I open it, I click on my portfolio. I click on my portfolio. When I click on my portfolio, the list of my stocks will come down. I will be seeing them. So the one I bought recently, I will see the price on which it was executed. That is how I see it here.
Okay, you are looking from the portfolio on the drop-down menu on the left.
Yes. On my unit cost, reference price, break even, asset cost, market value, and what have you.
And what stock is that?
Aradel.
Okay, have you ever had Aradel before?
Sir?
Have you ever had Aradel before?
Yes, I had 95 units before, but I just bought 6,000 plus units now.
I am seeing what you are saying now on my own portfolio, and it's looking like it's adding up whatever you bought before with what you bought now to arrive at your unit cost. Have you considered that? I think this is how to do it, because I'm seeing where some issues may be coming up. First, you have Aradel before, you bought at a different price, you bought today again at a different price. This table is aggregating total cost of both to give you a unit cost based on the average. When you should complain is when your contract note is sent and you take a look at the actual price you bought. That's when you should worry. For now, you could be looking at an average of what you bought before and today, and perhaps what you bought before might be a bit more in terms of price per share versus what you bought today. And so you are expecting to see unit cost at what you bought today. If that's what you're expecting, you won't see unit cost at what you bought today, because unit cost is an average of your previous entry price and your current entry price for today's transaction. So today's transaction, you can only see the detail when contract note is sent at the close of trading.
Coach, I understand what you are saying. Whenever I trade, after the end of the trading day, they do send contract note, but it reflects the actual price on which I bid a particular stock on. With the last time I called in, I made this clear, and you tried to explain to me that the charges are being fathomed on the stock I bought. You understand? So I understand that this is not the only day I started experiencing it. Whenever I trade, I'm just trying to be educated, so I will be rest assured that I am not at the losing end, because I do use limits to trade. But when I bid on the particular price, whatever comes up on the unit cost is higher than what I bid for. So, but now you are telling me that I should be concerned about my contract, my purchase note that is being sent after the end of the trading day.
That is where the education part comes in. If you buy a stock today that you already have before, and you are seeing unit cost more than what it is, unit cost is different from share price. Unit cost is a collection of both commissions that are standard charged, that they now spread on the per share price, so that you know exactly what the cost per share was. Because when you buy a stock, you are not only buying that stock price. The money you are spending is not only on that stock price. When they remove the stock price, they also charge you commission, which is the 0.4% or 0.6% plus VAT plus CSCS commission. All of that put together, they will now spread it on per share basis. That is what increases the unit cost. So unit cost is not stock price cost. We need to understand this. So if you buy a new stock for the first time and it reflects, you will still not see the exact share price. They have helped you. This is the way the system is formatted, to help you, to show you exactly how much money you put in per share when they add the commission. So that is what now brings about the little addition per share basis. So it's the same everywhere for everybody. So it's not only you. You get the point now? So that's where the mix-up is coming up. And I like the fact you said for education purpose. So now that you understand, once you see your contract note, you will see the breakdown. But that breakdown of price per share does not have commission. But the commission you paid, you were debited for those commissions. So what this machine is doing for you here, where you are looking at your portfolio, is it now adds the commission to show you exactly what you have spent. That's why immediately after unit cost, you will see break-even price. That break-even price is telling you the price the stock will get to where you are not losing, you are not gaining. It is neutral. So any other 1 kobo added on break-even price means you have started making profit. Do you understand now? But if they leave you with only share price there, then you will be thinking you are making a lot of money without considering the commission you spent. So this is a much more accurate way to report it in your portfolio. That's why it's like that. It's clear now, right?
Well understood. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well understood. Thank you very much.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute to go. Our time is up. This is the much we can take today. We really did a good job with the course this time. And it's interesting to note that you were alert to share your concerns quick enough. And I think we've done the job for today, because I really need to now get back to also see where opportunities are. I've shared with you, but I've not taken action. I will now go and see what actions to take. But before I go, let me also take one more comment here. there are lots of comments. The old asset cost and the new asset cost will add up to the new asset cost. Exactly. West Side Rail, you are on point. That's the point. Please, Field Atlas from since Thursday, no update yet. Basirat, find a way to reach Atlas through their WhatsApp line. Even on AfriInvest, that's how it will display. They add the one before with new but to get unit cost. Okay, there are a lot of people who understand. I think we have come to the end of today's session. I want to appreciate Atlas Portfolios for the time. Maobi, I see you there. I do not want to burden you too much because I am aware of your trip to take care of business far away outside the country. Hopefully, we'll give you some bit of rest. Thank you very much. Atlas says CSCS has a downtime at the moment. I noticed that a lot because a lot of times you are refreshing the bid and offer status. It's showing you a lesser offer, but when you try to buy it, it doesn't buy, and yet your own bid for that match buying you are trying to make eventually appears as an individual bid on its own. So those glitches I actually experienced it. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Atlas, for your time. Really appreciate the patience that you have also displayed, and for all the callers who have been able to be a part of this, including those on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Apologies, my sincere apologies for not being able to take all of your comments or your calls for those who called in. Hopefully we'll do it again tomorrow, same time, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time. But remember, you can join Network Investors Club for free. Go onto my YouTube channel. If you missed any part of this, especially those in the US and Canada who can't really meet up because of time difference, feel free, download, and maybe listen up, take your notes, and take action from the YouTube video of today's live session and every other live session. I hope your portfolios continue to stay green. Stick to your long-term dividend-paying growth stocks while juggling between some short-term penny stocks that are doing the numbers. Thank you very much. We look forward to another great day tomorrow. Until we meet again, this is me saying bye for now and see you again.